Congresswoman, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And first off, the big question that a lot of people have, do you see any end in sight as we are in day 9 of the government shutdown?
You know, I'm usually an optimist by nature, but I think we're going to be here for a little while. And it's unfortunate that the Democrats won't come to the table and vote yes on a CR to pay our troops, to make sure that WIC continues, to pay our air traffic controllers. I mean, this was a clean CR that they voted on 13 times at the funding levels in which they put into place. So them taking the American people hostage is just, it's insulting, quite frankly, and it's very, very frustrating. So I hope they come to their senses, but hope's not a real good strategy right now.
And I wanted to ask you, because of course this is kind of in the hands of the Senate right now, how exactly are House Republicans working with Senate Republicans as all of this is going on?
Yeah, I think everybody is trying to urge their Senate Republicans or Senate Democrats, to do the right thing, right? I mean, the problem with the Democratic Party right now, and the problem that's happening in the Senate, is Chuck Schumer and the normal senators are really being held hostage by their radical left base. I mean, the radical left Marxist arm of the Democratic Party right now is running the Democratic Party. I find it very difficult to believe that people, Democratic senators who have voted over and over and over and over again for continuing resolutions, that we have them on tape that's running in the Speaker's office on how devastating a shutdown would be, really believe that this is in the American people's best interest. But quite frankly, they're scared to death to get primaried by the radical left. So they're pandering to them instead of the people that they represent, which is hardworking Americans. And it's sad.
And tell me what it is that Republicans are kind of prioritizing here. What is the red line that Republicans are not willing to give up?
Well, we really don't have a red line. I mean, the key is when we did our continuing resolution, it was clean. It's 24 pages long. There's no gimmicks. Usually the party in power in a continuing resolution adds a bunch of policy riders or pet partisan projects in the CR. We didn't do that. We played no games, no gimmicks, no added policy riders, just an absolute cut and paste funding level from what we've been operating under. And the Democrats said no. And it's extremely unfortunate for the American people, and the American people are the people that are going to suffer.
What impacts are you hearing about from your constituents there in Michigan? Because we know that there have been nationwide impacts, especially with air travel, there's paychecks, things of that nature. So what are you hearing from your constituents specifically?
A lot of it is from our troops. Right? We have till the 13th to be able to pay our troops. I know they're paid on the 15th, but the 13th is the last day. I mean, these are families who live paycheck to paycheck, a lot of them. And yeah, they'll get back pay, but they're not going to get a paycheck. That is very concerning for them. People who depend on the WIC program, they are very, very concerned because they could potentially lose those benefits. That's really important. That's food on the table for their families that they potentially are going to lose. So I would implore the Senate, do the right thing and vote yes, like you voted 13 other times. Don't let Trump derangement syndrome get in your head and kill the American people. These are the funding levels you put in place. So the impacts are real and they're devastating for a lot of families.
And there are a few other big topics that I do want to talk to you about. One of them, the National Guard, those troops being deployed to places like Portland and Chicago. Why do you feel that is a necessary step?
Well, one, we have to protect the ICE agents. I mean, ICE agents are federal employees, and they're getting shot at because the local law enforcement and the local politics in these sanctuary cities, Democratic-run cities, aren't protecting our ICE agents, right? What I would prefer to see is these cities follow the law. right? That they support and fund these law enforcement agents. And they're not doing that. I mean, crime in these Democratic-run cities are out of control. I would much prefer them say, hey, we have a problem and we can't fix it ourselves, so could you help? Much like they did in Washington, D.C., right? I live in Washington, D.C. My daughter, more importantly, lives in Washington, D.C. Before Trump put the National Guard in, she never rode the metro. She rides the metro now. There is no denying that since the National Guard has been in D.C., that crime has gone down. I mean, it's sickening that we even have to talk and that we celebrate. Before the National Guard in D.C., there was a murder every other day. Every other day. And now we're celebrating, gee, we've gone 11 days without a murder in Washington, D.C. Think of what we're celebrating. I mean, we got to do better for the American people. So I wish that wasn't the case, but listen to what we're talking about on a lot of these Democrat, lawless cities right now, Democratic-run lawless cities. It's just sad.
And my last question here, I want to get one more in because I know you do have a very busy day ahead of you here, day 9 of the government shutdown. What do you make of President Trump, his announcement there of the Hamas-Israel deal that's been made? All of the hostages there are being released. What is your reaction?
It's joy, it's happiness, it's, a plethora of emotions. I mean, can you imagine being the family of these hostages and know that your loved ones are coming home finally? And what I tell everybody is Joe Biden's weakness got us into this mess. President Trump's strength got us out. And not just the war in Hamas, but throughout the Middle East. Look how he brought all of these countries together. Look how he brought the world together for peace in the Middle East. That could not have happened under any other president except for our president, Donald Trump. And we should applaud him for that.
Congresswoman Lisa McClain, chair of the House GOP, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you.
We covered a lot of topics. Anything else you want to add here before I let you go?
I just implore the Democratic senators to please not pander to the radical arm of their party. Do the right thing for the American people and open up the government.
All right. Thank you again for being here with us.
All right.
And of course,